I'd like to welcome everyone to our OSHA online local meeting number 5. This will be the last of our meetings. As we all know, we're starting week 5 of the regular season. The purpose of the meeting today is to talk about two very important rules, that being Rule 7 as well as Rule 9. Rick Barnes from Pickerington, who's worked 2 state finals, has graciously volunteered to put together the video as well as the excellent PowerPoint on this. So Rick, thank you very much for all your help with the presentation. And also Terry Williams has volunteered as before to produce all of these virtual meetings. So Terry, again, thank you very much for stepping up to the plate and putting all the time and effort into it that you have. We're meeting here at OSHA, and so we talked with Bo Rugg, Senior Director, this morning, and it was in the bulletin last week, but just to reemphasize this, there is no such thing in National Federation high school rules regarding team UNS. Whenever any of us call a UNS, it has to be assigned to a specific player, coach, trainer, etc. So please let everybody know about that from that standpoint. Without further ado, Rick, go ahead and start on Rule 7 and Rule 9.
Great. Thanks for having me, Bruce. Okay, well, let's get into the meat of this right away. Let's start with, we're just going to blow through this PowerPoint. There's just some bullet items we'll hit very quickly, and then we're going to get into videos. So if anybody is interested in getting a full copy of a PowerPoint with all the details and everything you need, it's significantly bigger than what we're dealing with today. Contact me. My email address is on my OHSAA. It's Richard Barnes is my name on my OHSAA. So if you're interested, just reach out and I'll be happy to forward you a full-blown PowerPoint. But as far as bullet point items that we need to know for this video, OPI, just know your 3 categories: pick, block, and go, and push off with separation. And remember, that's a 15-yard penalty. There's no loss of down. It's no longer the drive killer. Defensive pass interference, remember the new mechanic. So if somebody throws pass interference and the other partner on your crew does not throw pass interference, we need to get together and discuss this. Bruce said that we had a very good discussion this last week where we had a flag down. We had a crewmate come over and have a brief discussion, and we ended up picking up the flag, which turned out being the right thing to do. So this is a good improvement. It's going to help us across the board. Know your 5 categories: not playing through the ball, grabbing through the back, playing through the back, grabbing an arm, hook and turn, and cut off. This is also 15 yards. Targeting, I think we're doing a much better job with targeting since we've started having clinics, and we're all getting used to knowing what we need to know as far as calling this. Remember, your high risk indicators are the launch, the upward thrust, strike, and a crown. And the low risk is when they're trying to do the right thing. Okay, the head's up, they're trying to wrap, head to the side, and a position change is where the person carrying the ball has a quick position change. They go from high to low, causing contact. Quick tips to remember: just take a picture of this with your phone. You can look at it. These are good things to remember to help you be in the right position to make the right call. Defenseless player, remember, when in doubt, the player is defenseless. Okay? And remember, the penalty for this is illegal helmet contact against a defenseless player. Legal blindside blocks. Remember, blindside blocks are legal. Okay? Not all blindside blocks are illegal. Penalize the illegal ones. Remember, it has to be initiated with open hands, leading with the forearms, shoulders, and the free blocking zone is all legal. And then you get the excessive and unnecessary stuff, and it's much like targeting with launches, upward thrusts, the seek and destroy type hits. That's what we're looking for. Okay, chop blocks, we all know what that is: high, low, teammates. Sometimes these don't look like they're very severe. It's just incidental contact at times. This is a safety foul. If there's one high, one low, you got to get it. It's a safety foul. Legal block below the waist. This is the point of emphasis. The last few years, this is what the coaches really want. It's A and B doing this. So we have to be on our toes. We have to be looking in the right spot to make the right calls, okay? Bo's talked about the important people to the play. That's your lead blockers against the defenders that are engaging them. So you have to watch both teams. If we're ball watching, we're going to miss these. We're doing a much better job with this, but we can still get better. Horse collar tackles. You know, we're doing a good job with this, but just remember that, you know, the runner has to come down backwards or sideways, okay? If you got the grab of the back of the jersey, the player goes forward. It is not a horse collar tackle. The other instance is that if a second defender comes in and aids with that tackle, we also do not have a horse collar tackle. All right? And remember, the horse collar tackle is enforced as a live ball foul. Always. Because if we have a horse collar tackle that is a dead ball foul, that is not a horse collar tackle foul, because you can't have a horse collar dead ball because the horse collar tackle is on a runner. Once the ball is dead, he is no longer a runner. It would be a personal foul. All right. Okay, so let's start with video. Our first play is going to be a catch, no catch. We'll play it through, and then we'll take a look at it and play it through again and see what we want to talk about. Okay, didn't want to do that. Try this again. Okay, so let's look at what we're doing here. So we've got twins to one side, ball snapped, and we've got receivers running straight down the field. So we should be in an R&R3. We've got guys running straight down the field, about 15, 20 yards. So we need to get down there. The line judge is moving downfield. Head linesman is looking back in the backfield, looking to see where the quarterback's going to throw the ball. So the ball is thrown. It looked like the receiver is in the process of making a catch, and he gets hit. And then the ball falls onto the ground. If we talk about what's in the gold book actually references this. It says if a player has control of the ball in the act of making a catch and comes to the ground and losing it, it's incomplete. The catch must survive contact with the ground. And it also says if he's upright and immediately hit, he must maintain control of the ball or it's an incomplete pass. Okay? Go through and check this one more time. Watch your head linesman up top. The head linesman is killing the clock, walking in. He kills the clock 5 times. Okay? In my mind, this does not look like a catch. Looks like the ball comes loose and is on the ground right there. The head linesman is not being demonstrative at all. If he has a catch, he needs to come in and sell it. Okay? He needs to, the believability must be 100% here. He needs to make big signals. He needs to come in and be demonstrative and let everybody know that he does have a catch. The ball's dead.
That means giving the catch signal to the middle of the field, right, Greg?
No, we do not do the catch signal into the middle of the field.
Okay.
But
I see that happen. That's
yeah,
why I asked you about it.
Yeah, we need to stay away from that. So, you know, he's not selling that very well. Could he have gotten help anywhere? We rewind this a bit. Right here, the ball comes out from behind. You've got the umpire looking in at this. Okay, the umpire did a nice job of turning and looking, but he's not really helping us out here. Okay, the back judge is out of the picture. Can anybody help him out? Hopefully what we can do is talk about this play as a group, have good communication with the crew, and hopefully, talk through this and figure out what happened on this play and hopefully make the correct call. Okay?
Rick, if on goal book number 11, if in doubt, control of pass followed by loss of possession is incomplete.
Yes.
Clearly, this is an incomplete pass. The concept is no cheap turnovers. Therefore, if there's any question in your mind about these type of plays, please wipe them out, move on to the next down.
Right. Somebody needs to save the crew here. One last mechanic here at the end. We've got the referee all the way down here. Let's make sure that the referee stays back here and helps dead ball officiate and clean up in case something silly happens. Okay. Okay, next play. We'll let it run through. Okay. Okay. So we've got trips up top. We've got one-on-one matchup here. The one-on-one matchup is press coverage. Okay. A lot of times when you have trips to the top, you've got a one-on-one matchup here. They might be looking to exploit this. So we really got to look at this press coverage. Okay. He makes a nice move initially and gets by the defender. All right. So now the defender's in chase mode. But what you need to see here is where are our eyes? Okay. Everybody's looking back for the football. All right. So right now, nobody's doing anything wrong. The feet get tangled. And we've got a flag. All right. So remember, also in the goal book, page 41, we talk about runners that are running side by side or in tandem. When their feet get tangled, it's no foul. Okay. As long as they're looking back for the ball. Okay. Both of these players were trying to make a play. It looked like that the receiver slowed down a bit because the ball was thrown to the wrong shoulder. So he turns and looks back and their feet got tangled. The defender did nothing wrong here. This should not be a foul. And then that's not the greatest mechanics I've seen. We got to make sure that we don't care where the football is. And we also need to make sure that if something like this happens, this is exactly what we're talking about. That we have a flag down. The line judge should be coming to him and discussing this play. Okay, that's the new mechanic. This is a great opportunity for the line judge to talk to this back judge and possibly talk him out of this flag. Okay, and this is when we need to be honest as a crew. Okay, we got to get this right. We don't care about the football, and we want to make sure that we want to look like we want to be out there. Okay, we got a lot of walking. Not great.
Terry, if you could, Rick, run it back to the beginning of the play. And Terry, would you comment on the R&R of the LJ?
Why is he not moving?
He is not moving. He is, I don't know if he's thinking this receiver is going to come out of the backfield, but if you read that.
Yeah, we don't have any crossers. Everybody on the other side stops.
Yeah.
The only person he has to worry about in pass coverage is that one receiver.
Well, I have the answer, because if we watch these linemen, watch the linemen and watch what the line judge's key is, this tackle. Watch what the linemen do. They're run blocking. And when that pass is thrown, we've got ineligibles downfield.
Imagine that.
Okay. So that's why his R&R was off. But we don't have a flag for that either. The umpire's right here. We should absolutely have ineligibles downfield on this play. Okay. So there's a lot going on here. And, if we miss that ineligibles downfield, that was the only true foul in this play. So, we need to make sure that, hopefully this gets talked out a bit and to make up for the lack of a flag on the other one. But
so if I was the R, and this was done correctly, obviously, I would wave off the DPI, followed by giving a signal for an ineligible illegally downfield. That would be the correct calls on this particular video clip.
Absolutely. And we would hope that the flag we have, I would hope that the umpire would have dropped the flag here, or possibly the backside head linesman could have thrown a flag in this area, because this is how far down the field the linemen were. Okay. We want to try to have that flag in the area where they are. It sells the call. Okay. Okay, next play. Watching again. Okay. I think this is pretty cut and dry. This is also in the Gold Book. Gold Book has all of our types of DPI on page 42. This is obviously not playing the ball. Unlike the last play we just watched, watch the defender. He's reading the receiver's eyes. He goes right into him and continues to go into him and doesn't give him a chance to catch the ball. This is a pretty simple play. Okay, you also look at the time on the clock. You got 1 second remaining. So you're going to go half the distance. They're going to be able to run one more play. So this is a big call. But big call, but not a very tough call. We're watching the defender. This is a pretty simple call. Okay, there were 2 flags on this play. The line judge and the back judge got together and discussed this. They were on the same page.
I think, again, as we emphasized earlier, Rick, the key thing is when we're looking on these types of plays, it's imperative that we have an eye on both receivers and where they are looking. Too often we simply see contact and we think it's a foul, but again, we have to ask ourselves who was looking back at the ball, A or B, or A and B, etc.
One other comment I want to make, and Rick, if you go back just about to the point that the catch is attempted, if we watch our LJ down here at the bottom of the screen, we can give up that distance. We are much better off to be stopped when that ball gets to that receiver defender, so our eyes are stable, we see it much, much better. So give up that extra yardage. He has sideline. That's what he has to rule on. Of course, catch, no catch as well, but being stopped, we can see all of those things much better.
Good point.
Next.
Okay, next play.
That was a good one.
We're going to watch up at the top of the screen here. Okay, run it again. Outside receiver. Okay.
But he was just blocking downfield, Rick.
Well, this is a significant advantage for the offense. We really need a flag on this one. This is basically he's clearing them out. Here we go. So outside receiver, we got 3rd and 7. Okay, so we know where the stick is. Ball snapped. We're running our route here. Okay. So we've got this block downfield. All right. Who's going to get that call? Okay, obviously the H, that's his main key, but where's our back judge looking? Look at our keys. Okay. Breaking the huddle. So where's our back judge? Where are his keys now? Okay. We got 3 to this side, so the back judge is looking here. Okay. He's also going to help out here once we see it goes to zone coverage. But there's no press coverage anywhere. So when the ball's snapped, you see the quarterback looking that way. the back judge should be changing his field of vision that way once he sees the quarterback look there. So this should open up to the back judge. He could be able to help out the H with this. But somebody needs to get this because this is a huge advantage. He ended up getting a first down out of this. Okay? We got to make sure we throw that one. OPI blocking down the field. It's a 15-yard penalty. That's a huge call.
And again, Rick, Gold Book, page 42, PI offense, number 2, driving through a defender who has established a position on the field. And we have go to clinics and camps, and when I go to personally observe crews, what I keep referring is Gold Book pages 40 to 42, be it blindside blocks, be it holding, be it interferences. And so, ask yourself as an official, do I know thoroughly pages 40 to 42 in the Gold Book? Because these will help us immeasurably trying to decide about these calls, because some of these are very challenging, and the Gold Book is very clear to help us make these calls.
Okay, good. Play 5. Watch up top. This one goes quick. Watch this again, this matchup here. Okay, we see the restriction, the grab of the jersey. Okay, that ball is thrown right at the line of scrimmage. So what would we have there? We would have defensive holding because it's before the ball is thrown. Now, my question, who can help with this call? Look at our formation. We've got trips this way. So where's our back judge looking? He's looking here. All right. So basically, when this play starts, we've got all this going on here. The back judge's focus is here initially. If he glances up and sees the quarterback going this way, he might be able to read the quarterback quick enough to get that, but this hold has already started. Okay? So the H is looking in here. When this play starts, we've got players coming out towards him. He's got to be able to catch that immediately. If he doesn't get that immediately, I don't think we get this call. And I think that's what happened. This is a very unique play, and it's challenging. Okay? So just be cognizant of press coverage. If we have press coverage, there's always the possibility that we can have defensive holding. Okay? High school game doesn't have press coverage very often. So if you see that press coverage, that should put your antenna up. You got to be ready for defensive holding. Okay?
Next.
There's your restriction. Okay, and remember, defensive holding is not 5 yards and a first down. That's the NFL. Okay, next play.
This is one of the most unique plays I've ever seen in a high school football game, probably at any level. So it's challenging, very challenging, and you got to really be on your toes here, Rick.
Okay, so look at what we got going. 5 wide, field spread, ball's thrown right at the line of scrimmage. So we do not have ineligibles downfield, but what happens on this play? We've got the quick pass. The ball is bobbled by the receiver. Bobbled. The ball's in the air right here. Untouched by B. Goes right into the lineman's hands.
Look, Mom, look what I found.
Yeah. That's his huddle highlight film for the year. So,
And he's got a pass reception for the league or team stats.
right. So think about the rule. What's the rule? Okay. When can a lineman legally catch the ball? Okay. Only after B touches the ball. B did not touch the ball here. Or if someone throws a backward pass to him, which is not the case. So, in fact, this should be illegal touching because it was never touched by B.
And what's the penalty for that, Rick?
Illegal touching is 5 yards and a loss of down. It's one of our rare loss of down fouls. But yeah, this is a pretty wild play. Looks like it might have cut the guys up off guard. Now, how do we know as a crew, how do we communicate when a lineman is allowed to catch a ball? In my mind, someone should be giving a tip signal, okay? If we have a tip signal, we know that the ball has been legally tipped by B, and now all bets are off. Anybody can catch the ball, okay?
Rick, what happens if a lineman is blocking and the ball just simply inadvertently hits him in the back? Is that also an illegal touching foul?
That is not.
And why is that?
Because there's got to be some intent there.
Good.
Okay. That's the only time we don't have illegal touching is if the ball accidentally hits a player in the helmet or hits a lineman in the back or something along those lines. But if that lineman is in the neutral zone or beyond the line of scrimmage and they make an effort and catch the ball or touch the ball, then we have a foul. Okay, next play.
A little dark.
Watch R's blocking. Okay, we'll watch this again. I don't want to watch this. Watch your blockers out in front. There's a foul, and there's a foul. Now, this foul right here, this player right here throwing the blindside block, good flag, but the crew ruled that this was a disqualification. That hit right there was a disqualification. So remember what Bo talked about, okay? It's spelled out in the rule book. A disqualification, it should be something that is unduly rough or flagrant. Okay, those are pretty big words. Is this a flagrant hit? Okay, we have to really talk about this as a crew. A disqualification should not be one person. Okay, it needs to be 5 officials in complete agreement that this was something worthy of a disqualification. All right, and just think of the word flagrant. All right, that's the word that we really need to focus on here. Okay, these are the types of plays that Bo gets, and then he has to rule on them whether or not he wants to support it or not with the new rule. Okay, we have to make sure that disqualifications jump out at you. These are things where you lose your breath and you say, oh my goodness, that's a disqualification type hit. In my mind, I think this is just a foul, a hard hit. That was a foul. You guys have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, just make sure that we are talking as a crew and we're making sure that everybody's in agreement if we're going to consider disqualifying someone. Next play. Kind of happened quick. Let's watch it again. Let's focus right here on the right guard. One more time. The right guard fires out. Watch this linebacker. Okay. So we have a block below the waist by B. Okay, this is the one that the coaches really want. This is obviously a low block on a big player. The line judge ends up throwing a hold here, but misses they missed the big block below the waist, but they have a hold here. But these big kids that don't move well, this is a huge safety foul. I mean, right there, that kid could have been seriously injured by that low block. This is the type of stuff that we've got to get every time, and hopefully we can get it out of the game.
And explain, Rick, why this is a illegal block below the waist based on the location of the linebacker who's blocking below the waist.
So we know that a block below the waist is legal in the free blocking zone. Okay, so all these players are in the free blocking zone at the snap. The linebacker is not. The other thing was that this was a shotgun snap. So once the ball is snapped back to the quarterback in a shotgun, right there, the ball has left the free blocking zone. Okay, so we've got two reasons why this was an illegal block by the linebacker.
Terry, as an umpire, any suggestions from your vast experience over the years as an umpire, plus many, many hours watching film?
We miss these a lot, I guess is what I would say. And I think the initial thought by umpires or whoever it may be is, okay, these are two linemen going at it. They may have had initial contact. Yes, shotgun snap. I should be aware of this. But, yeah, I mean, we miss them a lot. We get the ones on the corners.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get them all, but we get a lot. Those ones in the middle of the field are the ones that we're totally missing these days.
Good.
And we got to bring it up into our mental toolbox and say we got to watch for this.
And as Rick mentioned, we 3 years or so we started our OHSAA points of emphasis, and this is primarily from our observation of the game and also input from coaches. And at least 2 years in a row, possibly 3, when Bo meets with the coaches, this has been number one on their list when they're watching film. Obviously, many, many hours of film, and so again. We're looking at this. I think we have a tendency to look at A and see what A's doing, but also we have to kind of level our vision and look at both A and B in these situations to pick up these calls that are challenging, no question about them, because they happen so quick. But again, point of emphasis this year as well as before.
Okay, next play. We're gonna watch right here. Watch it again. Okay, so at the snap, we've got the linebacker moving to the line of scrimmage. All right, so he's right here under center. So is he in the free blocking zone? Think about where our free blocking zone is. Okay, should be here.
6 by 8.
Yes, 6 yards by 8 yards. Ball snapped. Pulling guard coming this way. We've got a blitzing linebacker. Low block right here.
And if we back it up, Rick, I think 23 was even further outside the free blocking zone at the snap anyway. Oh, okay, he's done. Okay.
So we get the pulling guard going low. And then we have a dead ball personal foul.
The question is, Rick, this is a tough call. Who can get this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So look at the formation where it opens up. You've got that guard pulling back against the grain, cutting right here. Okay? So who can see this? The umpire has no chance. No chance at all for the umpire. Okay? If we're fortunate enough to have a center judge or possibly a referee, I don't know which side of the field this is, but whoever that is would probably have a good shot at that. Also, your line judge might be able to see that. Ball snapped. You've got the guard coming out right here, but you've got bodies in the way. So this is a tough tough look, but right there, I think your line judge can get that.
Yes.
Okay?
Rick, you are a line judge, right?
I used to be, yeah.
As the ball starts to rotate to the opposite side of the field, where's your focus?
Yeah.
It's line of scrimmage, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Your key is the tackle on this side. Okay. So you're looking at this kid anyway. You're making sure he's not going to jump in the neutral zone. So when the ball is snapped, this kid is your focus. Okay. And then if he gets cut, that should throw up a red flag right there. So in theory, we should have a flag there for a low block, which we don't. And then we have a dead ball personal foul. Okay, so what would be our enforcement if we did have the low block? Okay, we would have 2 fouls, have a live ball enforcement and a dead ball enforcement. Okay, but by missing that low block, now we've just got...
They don't offset?
Live ball, dead ball does not. But now, unfortunately for the defensive team, you know, now they have a dead ball 15-yard penalty and nothing to go the other direction.
Run that back to the beginning, Rick, because let's say we have a crew of 6 officials, and we know with a crew of 6 officials, the referee would be in the middle of the field about where his cursor is, and of course we know by mechanics is you're looking cross. So he's going to be looking across at that tackle there on the left side of the line. So he would also have a shot at this in 6 officials because of where his concentration is with that tackle going back to where he sees right there.
Yeah.
You're seeing that pulling guard. So
he sees the guard come back. There might be some bodies, but he sees that action. So yes, there's a good point. There's a good chance that the referee could get that. I think it kind of jumps out right there once he gets cut and goes down. We might have both of these officials seeing that kid go down. We all absolutely should have a line judge getting that.
good. Thanks.
Next play. There's a lot going on this play. Okay. So what we're going to do, and this happens quick. So we're going to look at the guard tackle here, blocking number 74 from blue. So take a look. One more time. So you've got a low block by the tackle, you've got a high block by the guard. Classic high-low, there's your chop block. Okay? One more time. Like I talked about beforehand. Not a vicious block by any stretch of the imagination, but absolutely a safety foul. Okay? If you've got these guys going low, making contact, somebody going high, we have to have a flag. It's not about how severe the hit is. That's a safety foul. We have to have these. Okay? So we have this. But also, I want everybody to look at blue number 5 right here. Watch his action. Look at it again. So blue number 5, when he sees the lead blocker coming across, goes low and then takes out the lead blocker also. So he takes out 2 offensive players low. So we have on this play a chop block by the offense, and we have a low block by the defense.
So we enforce both of those, Rick?
Oops. Yes, we should enforce both of those. In this game, neither call was made.
But those are both live balls, I think, where Bruce is going, right? Do we have one on A and one on B?
Yes. One on A, one on B.
So those would offset
yes,
because they're both live balls.
Yeah. So we have a live ball foul against A and a live ball foul against B. So we're going to replay the down.
Now, what I'm asked occasionally is, does the referee signal both of those? And the answer is yes. You would signal both of those to the press box and then indicate after you've signaled both of them that they do offset and we're gonna obviously replay the down.
Mhm.
The other thing I would ask too is, can you honestly say when you're watching this presentation, do you personally know the difference between an illegal low block and a chop block? So just ask yourself that. If need be, go back to the rule book, because obviously if you have one or the other of these, you're gonna then give the prelim signal to the R, and obviously we want to give the correct signal to the referee so he can then in turn give it to the press box.
And then the announcer can say whatever he thinks the signals are.
Especially when there's dead silence after
Yeah.
you give a signal.
Yeah. My Friday night game, according to the announcer, we had 3 illegal procedures. Okay, so this play, we're going to focus on this outside receiver up here. We're going to watch his actions. Watch that again. Watch the middle linebacker. Outside, middle linebacker. And then we have a little added mustard on the end of it after he makes the big hit. Good call by the umpire.
And I will tell you, as an umpire, these are pretty easy to catch your eye, because the flow's going one way and you've got a player either standing still and stepping up, or they're going the other direction. They're easy to see.
So this was a pretty obvious one. No attempt at all at trying to initiate this block with open hands. Just strictly just seek and destroy, just laid the kid out. So this is an easy blindside block by A, 15 yards, no ejection, nothing out of the ordinary, just a hard illegal block is all this is.
I think the key thing is with our officiating antenna is with these types of fouls is anytime you get misdirection, where you've got a player with some of us say with a brick in his hand that's going against the flow, he becomes suspect, and therefore our antenna go up that it might be a foul based upon the contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, middle linebacker had no idea this block was coming, which is also makes him defenseless if he doesn't see it coming. His focus was 100% on the runner. Okay, next play. Now this is a very unique play that just happened a few weeks ago. So our focus we want to be in this area. Focus on this area with the defense. Watch this play. Watch it one more time. Okay, so what do we have here? Kind of catches you off guard. We're so used to seeing blindside blocks by A that the receiver just basically clears out. We have a reception right here, so now we have the ball carrier coming down the field, and the defender blindside blocks A. Okay, I don't see a flag on this play. We had the play triangled in fairly well. So, like I said, it's kind of an unusual play. It might have caught him off guard, but just remember, blindside blocks are blindside blocks. It doesn't have to be an A or a K player. It can be receiving team, and it can be the defense here. So this is a very unique play, and just kind of open your eyes and have an open mind about this type of stuff, because this is a foul.
And Rick, just to clarify, we have contact with B into the back of some A players regularly, but it's that I'm going after the ball carrier, I'm trying to make the tackle. That's all legal. But when we have this type of a play where he just gives him the big shove from behind, I mean, there was absolutely no reason for that contact. And
Right.
He was not on his way to make the tackle.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
let's
this,
not confuse the two. Just because we have B hitting A in the back, it's not necessarily a foul.
right. Just think about the criteria for a blindside block, and this meets all the criteria. He didn't try to engage him open-handed. He delivered a blow. A did not see the block coming. This checks all the boxes. So yeah, keep in mind what Terry said, that it's not just the defense trying to push a player out of the way, trying to get to the ball. Your back judge is he's almost treating this like a glass wall. He's not trying to come over here, and he was looking right at the play. You see his actions. So he's looking this direction. Okay.
He's got to get that call, Rick. I mean, he's looking ahead of the ball. As Bo has said many a times, who are the most important players and where are your eyes? And this is, if you're looking where you're supposed to be looking, be honest with you, this is a relatively easy call.
Mm-hmm. The umpire had turned and looked also. So, I mean, there's a chance he could have helped also.
And let's go back and look a little bit here at the LJ. I see LJ's getting concerned about the spot a little bit too early in the play as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he did that here. Yeah. There really wasn't a whole lot of reason to move.
Mm-hmm.
He could have stood back. By doing so, he probably is in a much better position to see that ahead at the point of attack versus watching all of the things he was trying to do with the ball. There was absolutely no reason to move, honestly, until the ball goes out of bounds. Do you agree, Bruce?
Agree. And again, when we talked about trying to stay 5 yards back from the players and turning, looking up the field, then you got a real good shot of making this call. If I was at the game and I saw both the L and the back judge both making this call, I'd be tickled to death and think, boy, these are two really good officials because, again, as Bo indicated, their eyes are looking at the most important people at the appropriate time to make what should be a relatively easy call.
So here's what you're talking about. You've got an A player out in front. We have a reception. So in theory, you should change your focus to this kid where he's going to try to throw a block, right? He's the most important person in this play as far as A goes.
As Terry indicated, the L is just simply too close. He's got one thing on his mind, which too often, too many wings do, and that is the dead ball spot going out of bounds is the most important thing, and it isn't. What's most important is the action ahead of and around the runner. And the other second thing is too here is we want to protect ourselves. Our number one goal when we step on the field is our own safety for the sake of our family and friends, etc. And so by being 5 yards back from this play, looking ahead at the most important people, once everything has subsided, then come up and get that dead ball spot.
We do still have one white jersey player standing there in the team bench area, and our LJ is looking into the middle of the field.
Yeah, another thing when we observe, again, if you've got people out of bounds, especially the opposite color jersey, when you come down and get the dead ball spot, look out of bounds. As Bo taught, and I taught years ago at Ohio State intramurals, imagine a string between your nose and that player's nose, and wherever that player takes you back onto the field, go with that player because you never know what type of action somebody might say something out of bounds in these particular cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next play.
A tough call. Really tough call.
Watch this again. Okay, here's another view. So the horse collar starts around the 6 yard line. He makes it in, tight ropes the sideline, and gets the pylon. Now, we don't have the luxury of having this side judge right here at the pylon. So let's talk about in 5-man mechanics. How are we gonna do this? So we've got the L coming down the sideline, the back judge at the, hopefully right here where he needs to be. So what do we need to do as a crew? We absolutely need to communicate. We need to have a discussion. I hope we have a flag here, but this should be the line judge and the back judge getting together, having a conversation, and having a conversation where you're standing back far enough away from these players that you're also dead ball officiating, because there's a lot going on here. Okay, we just had a horse collar tackle. We should have a flag down. Who's to say that this runner may not be very happy about the horse collar tackle and he may stand up and react? We got to make sure that we're dead ball officiating, get together, step back here, have a conversation about what we've saw, make sure that we're on the same page, and then we're also watching players. Okay, but this is not an easy call for 5 men. I mean, got somebody coming down helping out here, but if you look at this play one more time, you've got the defender engaging him at about the 10-yard line, hanging on, and then he hits the pylon. From experience, you know, you're making that call from 15, 20 yards away on a dead sprint down the field. That's not an easy look, looking right down the sideline. So, but this is a horse collar tackle. Now, we discussed horse collar tackle enforcement. Bruce, you want to elaborate on that a bit?
Yes, so we have a foul by B on a scoring touchdown play. So obviously, we talk about hoppers, and this is what I refer to as the either or hopper. And what do we mean by that? Obviously, that either that the offended team can either have the enforcement spot on the try, or they can take it to the succeeding spot, which would be the kickoff. And again, unlike what we've seen in the past, please don't turn to the press box and say, we have an illegal horse collar, the penalty's declined because the coach says, I want the touchdown. We're not going to let the coach make that mistake. We're going to go over and give him simply, coach, we have a scoring play, touchdown, foul by the opponent. Do you want to enforce it on the try, or would you prefer the kickoff? And then the R, when he signals to the press box, in 99% of the cases, as we know from experience, they take it on the kickoff. So after you give the signal, point back to the kickoff so they understand that they're going to accept this penalty at the succeeding spot, that being the kickoff, unless you're in a sub-varsity game where the penalty would be enforced from the 35-yard line.
Okay, and also on this play, to clarify a little bit what we spoke about earlier with the horse collar tackle always being a live ball foul, we mentioned that if it was out of bounds, it would be a dead ball. The reason that the rule is written the way it is because this play is a good example. It didn't become a foul until he hit the pylon and the ball became dead. That was a dead ball foul. But since it's a horse collar tackle, it's a live ball enforcement. The whole rationale behind that rule is because let's say we had a 4th down play where the line to gain was a certain yard line and somebody is tackled out of bounds by a horse collar tackle and they're short of the line to gain. Well, we don't want to enforce that like a typical dead ball foul, okay? In that case, it's enforced as a live ball foul for that very reason. If he's short of the line to gain and it's a dead ball foul, we want the ability to give that team that first down that they've earned by that foul, okay? All dead ball fouls are enforced, dead ball. So if you had a foul that was, short of the line to gain, you had a dead ball foul, you would enforce it and give the other team 1st and 10 the other direction. But in this case, horse collar tackle, we absolutely want to be able to award that team the first down.
So to summarize, basically anytime we call an illegal horse collar foul, that will be enforced as a live ball foul based on Rule 10 penalty enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an exception to the traditional dead ball So we have to keep that in mind if we get one of these, and remind each other on the crew, hey, this is a light ball enforcement.
Right. Okay, we got one more play here. Let it go a couple times. Okay. So, we got the slot receiver coming down the field. His focus is on the ball. He's making the catch. And then we see our defender actually feet off the ground, up his upper body lunging through the okay, redo that. Yeah, upward thrust through the receiver. Receiver's mouthpiece goes 3 yards back. We've got a reaction by the defender that he's very proud of the hit he's just made. And now we have 4 flags. Okay?
Well earned.
Yes.
Raining yellow.
This was the call that this is a different angle of that call that you've seen a bunch of times where it was an ejection. This was supported. The great thing about this was that I was actually here on this play. I came in, we got together, the back judge, the umpire, and myself got together and had a quick discussion about this play. The back judge and I were 100% on board right away that we thought that this was a disqualification. The umpire wasn't 100% sure. We talked about it briefly, and then we got him on board, and it was the right call. So this was I wish we had film that we could get together and see how all of us got together and discussed this. But yeah, I mean, this was not really a tough call, but pretty vicious hit. But it's a great example of targeting, and it's a really good example of the flip side of what we discussed earlier about disqualifications. It's a crew decision. We got together, we talked about it as a group, we made the decision, and it turned out being a good call.
Wow, what a wonderful presentation, Rick. Again, thank you very much. I know you put a lot of time and effort into both writing the script and as well as finding videos from around the world to show these. And again, thank you. Terry, he and I have been on board now for 5 of these, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with Terry. And again, Terry, we appreciate all your help.
Thank you.
We want to wish everyone all the luck in the world for weeks 5 and 6. And for those of you fortunate enough to move on to the playoffs, good luck. And we hope to see you down the road. And again, with these very challenging times, I cannot believe that we're getting through it. Hopefully we are. And again, for those of you that have taken the time, the energy to study the book, work with your crew, do film review, a wholehearted thank you, and best of luck to you the rest of the season. This will be our last local meeting we'll do.